Welcome to Land the House. If this is your first time on the channel, I am Seth. We are here in my off-grid tool shed. As you can see, it has just recently been built. And I am in the back corner where I am building a small filming studio. I want to have a product placement turntable, kind of like a Lazy Susan. And I'm gonna have it here on this edge of my workbench. I've not sanded this yet, so it's kind of rough, but the thought is I want to have maybe an 18-inch removable Lazy Susan, and I was looking around thinking, how am I going to do that? I believe I'm going to use this metal Lazy Susan here. I'll probably put some grease in here so it's not so loud. And what that's going to allow me to do is mount a circular piece of plywood on top. And then I will probably drill a hole down into my workspace here and use a dowel that will go down under here. And I guess we'll have to move it over to get away from that. Something like maybe there. So anyway, I can reach down here and spin the dowel, and it will slowly spin the product around. That way, let's say the camera is here in about this position. I could be behind the camera, and I could just be right here spinning this dowel, and it will turn the product while the camera gets a nice clean angle of it. So a few things we have to do to get this working. I need to first of all make that tabletop. What should we do? This is 26 inches here. If I do 18, you know, it's going to be kind of short, so let's go ahead and make 20, I believe, 20-inch table. So we'll have to make that. We'll need to mount it to this Lazy Susan. We'll have to use a Forstner bit to get in here and attach the dowel to it. All kinds of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and take these pieces up to the workshop and get to work on making this product placement turntable. Back up here at the shop, I just realized I've got a 24-inch piece of plywood already cut. So let's use that. And there's another reason that I wanted to use that. I have a jig set up for my table saw, and it is designed for 24-inch. It has got a piece of OSB here that's in the track of my table saw with a piece of plywood, and a nail is driven in at 12 inches away from the blade, which means I can put my 24-inch piece right here on the nail, and I can bring my blade up some, and as this is spinning, I can pull this to the track, and it will basically chop off little bits of it at a time on that piece. So anyway, let's go ahead and make a 24-inch circle for our Lazy Susan. This isn't 100% square, but it's close enough. I'm going to go from one corner to the next and just mark a line so that I can find the exact center or close enough for this turntable. So it looks like this is going to be somewhere around the middle. So I'll just do that and then come to these sides over here, and there we go. That X right there should be our midpoint. Now on this center point, I need to drill a hole. It just can't go all the way through or it messes everything up. So I'm going to find that point. Okay, should be pretty close tolerance here on the first plop down. All right, very cool. All right, so here's the plan. Right now it's a 24 by 24 square. If I slide this back, and then I can rotate my piece here, I can start making straight cuts through the blade here to shave off bits, and it will eventually shave off everything into a near perfect circle. I'm probably going to have at least one edge that has a little flat piece on it, but that's going to be okay. So you turn the saw on and just start pushing this through and cut off all the corners. So the first time it'll cut 4 corners, then 8 corners, and it'll just go on until it's a full circle. And there's our 24-inch circle. Now, like I was anticipating, there is a flat spot here because that side was a little short, but it looks really nice. So we now have a circle, and we also have our known middle point here on the back. So it's time to cut or drill in a hole for this dowel to fit through. And I've already figured out that it was, oh, what a messy shop. This size here should do, 26. So hopefully we'll be able to cut that hole in right there, and the dowel will be able to glue into that. And we'll have to see how long we need to cut that to be able to get a hold of it. So let's drill this real quick. Now it can't go all the way through. This may try to dance around a little bit because we already pre-drilled that other hole. Hopefully we'll be able to get it. Okay. Hopefully that fits. Oh man, it's too big. All right, let's see what we can do about that. Before I put the dowel in there, I probably should get the metal Lazy Susan piece on. So I extended my lines out a bit further to know where the center point was for this. So we should be able to match these up with the 4 different corners, and that should be centered good enough for what we're going to be doing. All right, and now I just got some screws here that should not poke through the other side. I'm hoping this is going to be heavy enough, especially with product, that I don't have to attach this lower portion of the Lazy Susan on anything. We'll give it a try and see if it's going to be sliding around, but it shouldn't. Cool. So we need to go ahead and put this in here. I guess cut it first and put a whole bunch of glue in this hole, and I think that'll be enough. It should hold pretty good. So all right, well, we've got the tabletop down there is 3-inch, and I want to be able to hold on to it. Let's just go a little crazy and come down here to about 1 foot. The Japanese pool saw is one of my favorite saws. Makes short work of this kind of thing. As I feared, because I pre-drilled for that nail, the Forstner bit kind of danced around some and made the hole a bit too big. But shouldn't do that here. I am down here at the bench again. Now I'm going to have a camera mount that is on the wall and extends up to 50 inches, I believe. So, and I've also got a mat down here that could cover up our hole. So I think if we move this to the side, and let's say that we had our 24-inch hole could come right down over here. So there's 24-inch from our edge. So let's just put our hole somewhere right around here in the middle. And that way, when the camera comes down, it'll be able to see everything here and not see the door past my tongue and groove. So, and like I said, the mat will cover that hole when it's not in use. So, yeah, let's just go 24-inch. Make sure there's no screws down there. I think we're good. So right about there. Okay. Now my bit is not going to be able to go through both pieces of this, so I'm thinking about making the low tolerance up here, and then I can put a pre-drill hole on the bottom and kind of go from there. Anyway, let's see how it works. drill bit idea is not going to work because I can't get a drill bit down that far. But what about a screw right down the center? Should work out just fine. Okay, and that pokes through. So now I can use my bit from the bottom side to hopefully get the last bit of the hole there. And it may tear out a little bit, but it's going to be low tolerance. That worked out very well. The hole is very straight. And so when it's not in use, this really heavy PVC cutting mat with the measurements on it will cover that hole and you won't even be able to fill it. So very good. I gotta get this thing to fold out. It's too cold out here. Okay, yeah, so we won't be able to test the other bit until that glue dries in a day or two. So I'll be back in a day or two. It's been right at 24 hours and I believe this is done here. Now, I waited for the glue to dry, but it has been about 25 degrees outside and it just was not going to cure. So I ended up putting a single gold colored screw here in the middle, and I think it has locked it down quite nicely. So with that being said, let's go ahead and walk down here to the new tool shed and try this thing out. Okay, let's give this a try, see how well it spins. Haha, check it out. All right, let me give it a try from down here on the bottom. That's working out really well. Very cool. Let's give it a try with some product here. Check out the Stanley Fat Max Extreme 35 foot. The most amazing tape measure you've ever used. Anyway, I think that's gonna work out pretty good to have a turntable here. I will put a little bit of grease in those bearings because they're a little crunchy. But anyway, looks really good. I wonder how it's gonna do if it's a really heavy item, such as these drills. All right. Oh yeah, a little bit more difficult, but still spins quite nicely. Up under here, it sticks down about 6 inches or so, but it just gives it enough distance there you can really get that thing going. So except for a couple of these edges here, particularly one, this one right here, it's quite flat as you can see, but I think it will be just fine. I mostly want to look at the product that's on top. But anyway, I like it. Very cool. Now obviously I can't keep this here whenever I am filming other parts of the videos, so I'm considering that I can actually just make a little, I guess, L-shaped bracket up under here that I can simply pull this off and then slide it into that storage shelf to just store this up out of the way. So I think for the sake of this video, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Here's what I came up with. I had a scrap piece of this ripped down 2x4 and then these little scrap pieces here. So what I can do is, and I want to use this 2x4 so that the thickness of this table could slide in there and have plenty of tolerance. So let's go ahead and pre-drill 2 holes in here. All right, and then I'm gonna put this onto here. And I've got some little 2-inch screws. I'm gonna get those attached onto here. And then I was thinking I could just use these 3-inch screws here to attach this to the actual tabletop. And so I have to make another one of these so that there'll be another one on the other side. We can go ahead and put this one up first here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go this way a bit and get that screwed into place. Have you seen my turntable? Oh, here it is. So I decided to go ahead and angle the back side of those supports so that I couldn't accidentally push it off the back here. So that's kind of where it rests there. And let's see how well I can get this removed. Yeah, I mean, it's got plenty of tolerance and it won't be in the way here at all. So I can still grab hold there and push it back in. I am so pleased with that. Go ahead and pull that out. So this is just going to be used for certain artistic shots whenever I want to display a product here and can reach down and just give that a turn to make it look really cool. Do write down in the comments what you think about this turntable here and if it's going to be something that's going to display the product nicely. I think it will. Of course, I'll have to set up lights and all that stuff, but this at least gives me the option to have a different kind of angle in here. I know this turntable design is very niche for a specific purpose out here in the shed, but if you've enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. This was fun for me, but also it's going to be very practical here very soon. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.